Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're taking something that usually feels, well, incredibly dry, routine data entry, and turning it into a high-stakes, colorful rescue mission. Your goal? To save your precious weekend. Because if you've ever stared blankly at a CRM screen on a Friday at 4:55 p.m., frantically trying to decipher your own scribbled notes from Tuesday, you know exactly what I mean. In this Explainer, we're going to break down exactly how to conquer your communication logs so you can finally power down your computer with absolute confidence. Okay, let's dive right into this. Picture this chaotic scenario. You've just survived a seriously busy, frantic week at our fictional company, TOR Tech. You know the drill. You've been putting out fires, closing deals, talking to people nonstop. The clock is ticking toward the weekend, but there's a massive roadblock staring you in the face. If you don't document your week correctly, your weekend is officially canceled. You'll literally be spending Saturday untangling miscommunications. Your logs are the living, breathing roadmap of your business relationships. And honestly, they're your ticket to clocking out on time. To actually make it to that weekend, your mission is to perfectly log 4 distinct client touchpoints that you handled this week. You had a phone call with a new prospect. You navigated a totally tangled email thread about a contract revision. You sat through a dense in-person meeting with a long-term client. And finally, you received a signed service agreement from a third client. Now, as we work through these 4 steps, you'll see that treating all these interactions the same is a massive mistake. Each type of interaction demands a completely different logging approach. But before we tackle those 4 unique levels, let's establish our golden rule for this explainer. This is the one non-negotiable standard that applies across the board. Every single log, no matter what the interaction was, must end with a clear next action, like who is doing what and by when. Without the specific clarity, things just fall through the cracks. A log that ends without a next action is basically an interaction that might not produce a result at all. It's a dead end, and we want highways here, not dead ends. Let's move to our first boss level of the week. Level 1, mastering the phone call. Think back to that call you had with a brand new prospect. Phone calls are incredibly easy to lose to the void. Why? Because nothing is automatically recorded. The only record of what was actually said and agreed upon is the one you create. So your absolute best defense here is speed. A call log written 20 minutes after hanging up is noticeably thinner than one written within 5 minutes. You need to log it immediately. Capture the exact date, time, and duration just to give yourself context weeks later. List every participant, and hey, if someone new jumped on the line, add them to the CRM right then and there. State exactly why the call happened in just one sentence, write a tight 3 to 5 sentence summary covering the main points, and clearly list those crucial next steps with specific owners and due dates. Next up, level 2, decoding emails. Think about the contrast here for a second. With a phone call, nothing is written down, so your job is creation. But with an email thread regarding that massive contract revision, everything is already written down. Because the email has a built-in record, your logging strategy has to completely shift gears. You are moving from transcription to translation. You really do not want to simply copy and paste a giant wall of text into your CRM. That doesn't help anybody. Your job here is to brilliantly distill the thread down to the actual decisions made. You want to highlight the outcome, not just summarize the content. Write down what was decided or agreed upon. So, for example, you'd write, contract revision approved by client, updated version to be sent for signature. Notice how that cuts right through the noise? You should also note who initiated the thread, because this is vital context that helps anyone understand the relationship dynamic. Was the client chasing you, or were you checking on them? Flag any items left wide open, and finally, attach or link the original thread. You are literally saving your future self from having to dig through a 20-message per my last email chain. Just when you thought you were safe, it's time for level 3, meeting madness. This is where you log that dense, crowded in-person meeting with your long-term client. In-person meetings are absolutely the richest in content, hitting you with a massive volume of data. You've got multiple participants on both sides of the table. You've got layered agenda items. You have to actively separate casual discussion from actual concrete decisions. And most importantly, meetings generate a dizzying web of commitments. 3 different people might walk away with 3 totally different action items. The discipline of logging a meeting well really separates the professionals who treat meetings as actionable decisions from those who just treat them as social events. The golden rule for messy meetings is this: record what was said, not your evaluation of it. Keep your personal opinions entirely out of the official record. Furthermore, do not collapse a complex 3-topic meeting into a single vague paragraph. Even if the meeting was total chaos, your log needs to be beautifully organized. Give each agenda item its own 1 to 2 sentence summary and clearly distinguish between what the team merely discussed and what the client actually decided. To fully beat this level, logging it in the CRM just isn't quite enough. You must follow the 24-hour rule. Send a recap email to every single participant within 24 hours of the meeting. This email should summarize all the decisions and explicitly list the action items. The absolute key here is alignment. Your internal CRM log and the external email you send to the client should tell the exact same story. This invites corrections early and ensures everyone is operating from the exact same clear playbook. If there's a misunderstanding, you want to catch it on a Wednesday morning, not during a Saturday emergency. We are nearing the finish line with the final interaction of your frantic week. Level 4, securing signed documents. This is that formal service agreement you finally received from a third client. A signed document isn't just another casual interaction. It's a formal compliance milestone. It represents a legally binding commitment that protects both parties in future disputes. Because of this, your log needs to be incredibly precise. You must carefully track the exact document name and version, like V2.1. Ambiguity here is a massive compliance risk. Note exactly how it was delivered. Was it DocuSign, email, physical mail, and the exact date received? Detail the precise storage path. And finally, explicitly note what subsequent actions this signed document triggers, like kicking off client onboarding or issuing the first invoice. The crucial metric for this step is 30 seconds. Anyone in your company should be able to look at your CRM log, see the exact storage path you documented, and physically or digitally retrieve that signed agreement in under 30 seconds. If they have to spend 20 minutes hunting through vague Google Drive folders or asking around the office, your log has failed. Precise storage paths save massive amounts of time and stress down the line. Mission complete, the ultimate follow-up. You did it. You've navigated the chaotic week, completely logged all 4 incredibly different touchpoints, and you've officially rescued your weekend. Now, let's review our ultimate survival guide and see how your priorities completely shift depending on the medium. When you're logging a phone call, your focus is entirely on speed, capturing a 3 to 5 sentence summary within 5 minutes before it vanishes from your memory. With an email thread, the focus shifts to summarizing the distilled outcome and attaching the original thread. For an in-person meeting, you're detailing layered agenda items and sending a 24-hour recap email to keep everyone aligned. And finally, for a signed document, it's all about locking down the exact storage path, the version, and triggering the formal next actions. So as you pack up your desk and head into the weekend with your CRM logs perfectly and accurately updated, I'll leave you with this provocative thought. If a log ends without a clear next action, did the interaction even happen? A record without momentum is just digital dust, but a well-crafted log, that is the engine of your professional success. Thanks for joining me on this explainer and enjoy your thoroughly well-deserved weekend.